Hey there everyone, welcome to another bite-sized review. Today we're going to be taking a look at one of my favorite comedies and one of my favorite sci-fi movies, and movie series in general. This is Men in Black. This is a 1997 film. This is rated PG-13. This runs an hour and 38 minutes. It was directed by Barry Sonnenfeld, who's done many things. Um, and it's a great film. It is very, very funny. It also is fairly serious at points, but it's mostly a buddy cop sci-fi comedy, and it's directed wonderfully. It's got this really great style to it. Obviously, because it's a '90s film, some of the effects don't look as, I guess, polished as they could. In terms of today's movie making. But overall, Men in Black is a fantastic experience. It's so fun. Um, as a kid, I was attracted to the Men in Black series, obviously from this first film, mostly because of the design of everything. The story was really well told. The idea that there's this government agency that monitors and takes care of extraterrestrial demonic forces, supernatural entities, all sorts of stuff. And they deal with all of that, but then they erase the people's memories. Which obviously the idea of Men in Black has been around since the 60s, I believe, the 50s, in that kind of era. So the Men in Black haven't, it's not a new concept, but this 1997 film is a wonderful, it's just a blend of great things like the 90s style of filmmaking, the comedy, the just like the technology and stuff of practical effects is really well done, and the computer effects, while a bit dated, still work for this. And it's a really fun film, especially for sci-fi fans like myself. I'm a big sci-fi person, so this really appealed to me. And I love comedies, so that's great. We do have several cast members here. We have not a ton of characters. We do follow some. Some of the characters get more focus in Men in Black 2, which we'll talk about in another video. We do have the main characters. We have Agent K, who is this older, retired MIB agent who's seen it all. He's been there since the beginning, and he's played by Tommy Lee Jones. And he's really, really fun in a serious kind of way. You'd probably, if you've seen this movie, you know what I mean. He's very straight laced. Like he plays off of Will Smith uh, as Agent J, which he's the second main character. Technically, this is the origin story for Agent J, who is obviously Will Smith's character, and he kind of gets brought into the MIB agency as a rookie, and he was a NYPD cop before, and so he has an encounter with an alien, and so that leads him to get evaluated and tested, and that gets him kind of hired as an MIB agent, and he's tasked with going with Agent K to become his partner, and they have to fight this crazy villain, which we'll get to in a minute. But Will Smith is great in this. He is so funny. Most of the comedy comes from him, either like ridiculous situations or just like throwaway lines or just super subtle jokey things that he says, and just his dry comedy style is so fun. And that is kind of the main appeal of Men in Black, at least this first one, is the dynamic between Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith. There, like Smith's comedy is kind of bouncing off of Jones's deadpan serious nature, and is that's what's great about this film. There's a lot of great stuff about the Men in Black franchise, but that's the main selling point or the main draw. We do have the MIB, the head of the MIB, who is Agent Zed, which I feel like it's a bit weird because all the MIB agents are like, to get into the program, you have to erase your identity before, and essentially you only have your first letter of your first name left. And so I find it a bit weird that Agent Zed, being the head of the MIB, he should be called Agent Z, not Zed. But it's just something. It's just fun. You're not meant to take it too seriously. But yeah, he is played by Rip Torn. who does a great job. He returns in an MIB2, which is great, and he's really fun, especially when he's like bantering with Smith. I think that's really fun. We get a lot more of that in 2, but he's really funny whenever he's in any movie. Rip Torn is a great actor, I think. We do have a minor character, Jack Jeebs. He kind of sells MIB technology, and he's very useful at a certain part of this film. And he's played by Tony Shalhoub. He returns in Men in Black 2, as well as the animated series. He has a bigger part in both of those. So he's kind of introduced here, but he gets a bigger part later on. He's great. He's great. Really fun. We do have Frank the Pug, again, a minor character. He gets a much bigger part in 2. He's played by Tim Blaney. He's like a pug kind of dog. He's great. You just gotta say he's great in the first, but in the second one, he's even funnier in my opinion. We do have a minor character, Newton, who is played by David Cross, and he comes back in the second one. He could be in MIB3. I don't remember if he is. I don't know for sure, but he had a great time, I'm sure, filming both of these. And he is great in the scene that he's in. He is kind of a cameo, kind of. We do have my favorite character, Laurel, who is a morgue worker, and she's like a doctor, and she keeps getting neuralized by both J and K, and it's really kind of a running joke, the neuralizer. K, or I guess J really wants a neuralizer, and K's like, well, you got to be a seasoned agent before you get one of these, and it's just like this running joke where he's like flashy thinging everyone. And Laurel is played by Linda Florentino, who is a great actress, especially in this film. And she's my favorite character of this first Men in Black. In my opinion, she's great. Especially at the end, you'll know what I'm talking about if you've seen it. But lastly, we have Edgar the Bug, who is this disgusting, evil alien cockroach from another world, and he is played by Vincent D'Onofrio. And it is one of the creepiest actor performances I think I've ever seen ever. You know what I mean if you love Men in Black, the franchise, this movie, whatever, you know what I mean. He even got his Vincent D'Onofrio's role in this film was so iconic and so popular that they even put him in the animated series. They put him in the comic books. He got mentioned heavily in Men in Black 2 and 3. So he's been like this super important villain. This is really his only technical appearance in live action, but he is just absolutely evil, abusive. Before he gets turned into the cockroach, you know what I mean. He is horrible, just an awful person in general. And then when he gets taken over, he's even more creepy and disgusting and just really ugly and just, oh, he's really cool, especially at the end where we get to the reveal of his cockroach form, and that whole fight at the end was great. It actually ends up being Laurel that ends up fighting him in the end, which is cool. I think that was really interesting. The story is very simple here. We have K and J. They're just kind of the top agents at MIB. Well, I guess K is. And J is just like his partner, his new partner. And they're kind of just, running all over New York, trying to get rid of aliens. The main story is these two ambassadors. They're trying to protect this galaxy called Orion's Belt. And Edgar the Bug is after that. He's trying to destroy that galaxy and get back home. And that's kind of the story. I don't want to spoil a whole lot in case you've already seen it or in case you want to see it. The story isn't super important here. It's more of just like the comedy dynamic and the technology and the 90s dated stuff. But yeah, MIB, the first one, is fantastic. I always love this movie. This is probably one of my favorite like comedy films, and also one of my favorite sci-fi films. I must admit, I'm going to get hate for this next comment, but I personally prefer Men in Black 2 over the first one. I know. Don't click away. This is just my opinion. I prefer the second one. There's more development for Jay. More funny moments. There's more aliens. I think it's just a better movie. But I think Men in Black 1 is a classic. It's a masterfully well-made film. It's a master class in how to do comedy right. It is a bit of an older film, so it does have kind of this kind not outdated. It has a very old school look to it, which I think fits with the whole Men in Black idea. I've been interested in the Men in Black premise for several years. It just keeps growing, mostly because of this film. But the animated series is amazing, very well done, and the sequels are all three Men in Black films are excellent in my opinion. This first one is probably the technically the best of them, but I prefer two. That's just me. Um, it's great. It's PG-13. There are some innuendos. They're not that, it's not too bad. There are some language, like there is the uh, D word and S word, and it's not too bad. But just keep that in mind if you're watching this with younger folks. There is some language. It's not too bad. It's just like sprinkled throughout. Makes it more funny in my opinion. The action is really well done in this film. The CGI holds up, I think, pretty well. It's not perfect, but it's good for what it is. I think the direction was really well done. And also, I forgot to mention, Danny Elfman does do the score for all three Men in Black films, I believe. And this score is absolutely spectacular, especially the opening scene with the dragonfly. That is great. Will Smith also wrote a song for this movie called Men in Black. How appropriate. And it's really well done. It's in the end credits. Um, Overall, Men in Black, 1997. Fantastic film. Great comedy. Awesome uh, action film. Great sci-fi movie. Um, it's really well made. I will say this is a really well made, well acted, well put together film. I give Men in Black a 10 out of 10. I have no issues with Men in Black. I can see some people having problems with the outdated, some of the outdated slang or the slightly dated visual effects, or some of the action may look a bit cheesy. But overall, Men in Black 1, it's a great film. It's a fun experience. It's fun. It's fun. It's funny, fun, and really fresh in my opinion. Um, that's all I have to say for Men in Black 1997. I will possibly do some more videos on this franchise because I love it that much. Um, Stay tuned for my review of the animated series, MIB 2 and 3, and I might do a video discussing the MIB idea as a whole, like the lore and stuff, and the mythos of it. But that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought of Men in Black down in the comments, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks again, and have a great day.